because I was surrounded by people who had so much shame, that I actually did pick up some of the shame, and I wouldn't tell people at that time what I was doing, because I knew I was going to get judged around, well, what are you doing with these people? And so I know I carried that shame for a while until I had this awakening myself that I didn't have to carry that, that the people, like yourself, that there's so much hope, there's so much opportunity when people go into that path of recovery, and it is a process and it's a journey. Some of the things the word you mentioned, transformation, lack of sleep, I wanted to share with you also that Dr. Deepak Chopra, on the pillars of well-being, some of the things he talks about, which I think is very powerful in the not only in recovery, but for all of us. First one being is the sleep. Sleep is so important, and I know that when you are addicted, when you're in recovery, sleep is something you not get enough of. And sleep actually helps with the recovery process. It allows the body to heal. And so sleeping is very important. The other thing, is meditation and stress management. Often in the first 6 months, there's so much pressure and stress around, this whole idea, you will not slip.
I've ran many, many marathons, but exercising and eating healthy became a really big part of how I actually learned how to sleep, and that I didn't need to sleep all the time.
That's right.
And I think that developing a relationship with some type of, higher power was really important to me, and for me, prayer was really important, meditation as much as I could meditate, even though, it was really difficult for me to meditate because I had no idea what that was about. But just sitting in a meeting, in a 12-step meeting for 1 hour, I was able to, for 23 hours, I was able to get through that one more day, and it was really simple back then, but it was painful, but it was freeing at the same time.
So, coming back to again meditation and stress management, meditation, one of the things is when we are in the place of that addictive mind, there's a lot of thought process, there's a lot going on, that anxiety to perform, or looking back at the past of the life, the destruction, right? So what meditation allows one to do, to come in this presence, and it can be simple tools like just some deep breaths, just breathing in and out. That's a tool. We actually tell people that when you start breathing, because we stop to breathe, and you mentioned about exercise. So movement is the next thing on this pillars of well-being, exercise and yoga. And the reason is when you are moving, when your body and brain releases the chemicals, the endorphins, the dopamine, opioids kick in, it naturally allows you to start feeling better. So that's why movement is so important, for all of us, not just people in recovery, for everyone. But it just becomes more important in those who are seeking the path of recovery. And we talked about, you also mentioned about emotions. Emotional regulation is critical. And whether it's through individual counseling, going to some mutual support groups to get that, or have family and friends. And this is where family and friends do play an important part, because we want that non-judgment, we want that compassion, we want that love, we want that acceptance, we want that appreciation, affection. Who doesn't want this? Right? And I think people who are in recovery are hungry for all this.
Yes. Yeah. I was actually in a treatment program for 10 months. So that really helped me to sustain and be accountable and responsible to myself. you know, because I'd never done that before. And, you know, a big part of my, you know, early stages was going to a physiotherapist,
Yes.
you know, and going to see a chiropractor, you know, and learning how to sit, learning how to, you know, because I was slumped over for so long. My neck was slumped over. I had to learn posture. It was those types of, you know, experiences that were really brought my self-esteem and took away that shame and deprivation, you know, of the person and the individual that I had become as a result of the lifestyle that I had lived with this disease of addiction. You know, I believe that I have this, you know, the disease of never enough, you know. And so I had to really kind of take that energy and open myself up and be vulnerable in groups and, you know, and seek out, like, you know, I went to, you know, therapy in my first year. I went to a great program up in Kelowna, you know, for 30 days to deal with the trauma and the sexual abuse and all those things that happened for me when I was a child. I had to look deep within in order for me to start to heal from the inside out. It was from the inside out that I had to heal. And that was like really an uncommon and uncomfortable place to be. But the freedom of being able to really find that internal balance, you know, gave me, you know, the life that I have today.